Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel EduVibe. In today's lesson, we are moving to the next unit of the grade 11th math, which is the rational expressions and the equations. So this is a topic where we talk about the rationals, basically the rational expressions, what kind of expressions the rationals are and their equations too. As we did in radicals, we same did with the rationals. And today we're doing the rational expressions only. We focus on rational expressions. How can we add, subtract, multiply, and divide, or what are the thing called the NPVs, which is the non-placement values. So this is such a short lesson. This is such a short chapter. So we covered in only the 3 lessons. So let's start with the what is rational expression. So rational expression and algebraically fraction with a numerator and a denominator that are polynomials. So anything in the fraction. If you have 5 upon 3, this is the rational function. If we add some, like we have the variables in this like x, so this is also the thing called the rational expression or the rationals. There is a thing involved in this when we do the variables in the rationals, that are the non-placement values, which is the MPVs. Any value for the variable that makes an expression undefined, that any expression will like if we can divide by 0, the undefined means in a trigonometry too, if anything, if the denominator, because we involve in the numerator and denominator, if the denominator has the 0 value, or it comes to 0 when we put any value n as the variable, that value goes to a undefined thing. Actually, if those two undefined, that the restriction we have to take in that this is the MPV. So in the rational expression, the MPV is the value that makes a denominator equal 0. If denominator equals zeros, that means that this is undefined, and we have to do some, this is all the non-placement value, and we have to do some restriction on that. For example, if we have a 5 divided by x minus 3, if x goes to 3, if x goes to 3, so we get this, which is 5 by 0, which is not possible. The 5 by 0 goes to undefined array, which is take us as the, this is the not possible, this is undefined. So for that's why we have to do that x minus 3 should not be equal to 0. So when we solve that, x is not equal to the 3. The MPVs look like that. That thing is not equal to this, because this is the denominator, and if it is equal to 3, this comes to 0, which is undefined, which is not possible in the rationals. So rationals, we always take care of the non-placement values. If there's there, so we have to mention that first, because this is for math. Like if you skip that thing, the marks will be deducted from that. We have some examples related to that. We have lots of examples. So first example, if this is solvable, so we have to solve this first, then we have to do some placement values or not. In that, we have a 5t divided by the 4st square. In that, this is solved already. So if that x and t is in the denominator, so basically we have to wash the denominator. This is x and t and is multiplying, so it's only the 0 thing. If we that x not equal to 0 and t can't be 0. If they goes to 0, we get a 0 denominator, which is not possible. So we have to take care of that thing. So we take the restriction of that. Next, we have minus my is equal divided by the y square plus y. Denominator can be solved. So y takes as common. So we left with y plus 1. Now, again, if y goes to 0, because this y goes to 0 is not equal to 0. And the y plus 1 not equal to 0. Anything in the denominator we have to take. Is 0 or the anything at that type of expression we have to take. This not equal to minus 1. So as this has the 0 and minus 1 can't be in the y equal. So that was the MPV. In this we have to solve. So this is like a factorize. You have to do factorize on the both numerator and denominator. So for the upper we get z plus 1 and z plus 3. Down we got z plus 2 and z plus 3. We get this z plus 3, and so in that case z plus 3 and z plus 3 cancel out, but we don't do the valuation in that. We do the evaluate portions in the next few slides. In that z plus 3 that we even it cancels, but z plus 3 is in the numerator. We have to be in the first thing that if this is cancelled when we solve this further, but the z plus 3 is still in the denominator thing at this time. So we have to do the both distributions, both MPVs. So z plus 2 is not equal to 0, which is z plus z is it not equal to minus 2. And also z plus 3 is not equal to 0, which means that is not equal to minus 3. That two distributions we have. In this again, a is not equal to 0, b is not equal to 0. Now you have a in your mind that anything is in the denominator, you have to count equal to 0. Next thing, 2x minus 3, we solve both the denominator. So 2x, we take x plus 5, and this x, we get x, oh no, if we get 2 in common, we get x minus 3. Here, x is not equal to 3. And last, x plus 3 divided by this is x square minus 9, which is a square minus 9, which goes to x plus 3 and x minus 3. But we have both the restrictions, so this is not equal to plus minus 3. So that's how the MPVs works. And in the every question, sometimes they gave you the MPVs, sometimes if they not gave you, you have to mention it. They stated or not stated, you have to give the MPVs. So we have a rational expression question over there, that how can we solve the questions actually. So this is the rational expression given to us. And first part, we have to expression represent the MPVs, that any MPVs if we have, so we have to state that MPV. So first we have to solve this. So we have to simplify this. So first we do the B part to simplify this term. Done. So 6x square minus 9y square is basically your, like you can say, is 4x whole square minus 9y whole square divided by the 8x minus 6y. So this is time to a square minus b square, which will give you 4x minus 3y and 4x plus 3y. In the denominator, we have 2 in common, so we'll have 4x minus 3y. The 4x minus 3y cancel out. We get 4x plus 3y divided by 2. So even we cancel the denominator, but still they have some restriction on that. So 4x minus 3y is not equal to 0, which means your 4x is not equal to 3y. Basically, you have to isolate the x in this, so you isolate only x. So x is not equal to 3y upon 4. You always take out of x, not the y. If there's a multiple comes, always state the x. And that's your restriction on that. Then they ask that evaluate the expression if x is 1.5 and 2.8. So the answer you get this one. No. This one. You have to put the x and y value and get the answer. So 1.5 plus 3 times 2.8 divided by 2, you will get about 7.2 as your answer. There's something like a written response, you get like all the things are covered in that. That's how you have to deal the expressions. Now we have to start with the multiplying the rational expressions. So how can we multiply the rational expression? How can we divide, spread, and the addition? The first we deal with the multiplying because this is easy. So we have a 12a square times b divided by 15 multiplied by 3ab divided by 8b square. There's a lot of going on, so you can firstly rewrite this thing if you want, and multiply it by 5ab divided by 8b square. So you can know that opposite thing, that you can deal with this and this as this, and this and this, this and this, this and this. So you can cut these things, you know that. So over there, we have 1b cancel with this b. This again b cancel with this b. We have this 15 go with this, you get 3 in that. This goes, you get 4. This goes, you get 2. Basically, you get a square left with multiplied by a, and this whole divided by the 2. So basically, no, a square you have this. This is a square. Basically, you get a cube upon 2. So in the start, you have b square in the denominator, not a square you have. So b square is multiplying, so b is not equal to 0. You have to mention this. Even at the end, there is nothing going with the b, but you have to cut this thing. So a cube upon 2 is your answer. So that's your answer. B is not equal to 0. Next, we have this thing. Next, we have this whole expression, this big expression. How can we deal with? So let's figure out. So firstly, this stays the same. There's nothing common or nothing can be get doing on. So it's minus this multiplied by 6x cube y divided by this x and 2x minus y. That 2x minus y goes with 2x minus y. That 3 goes with this. Then we have this y goes with 1y and that this goes with 1x. Basically, we're left with the minus 5 into is 10x, left with 1x over there, divided by the y. If this thing is looking very confusing to you, so you can try by your own. You know that how can we multiply the things when they both are divided? How you know that how can we like dividing the things? So you do by your own if you want. So you can do all the things like by your own, by your whole calculation in a clear and neat way. In this, we get minus 10x and y. You can then check your answer. Basically, at the start, we have x and y. Both is not equal to 0. You know that. Then we have x again, which is not equal to 0. Then we have 2x minus y, which is not equal to 0. You have to isolate the x if you want. So x is not equal to y by 2. That 3 placement values we have. And that's your answer. This one and this one. So that's how the multiplying works. Multiplying the rational expressions. Let's move to dividing. So in the dividing rational expressions, you deal with the same way multiplying that. So multiplying and this thing is the same, you know. Okay. So, but the difference is that if we have this thing, x squared y squared, multiply, divide by this thing. When we multiply this goes to reciprocal. This goes up, this goes down. So 15y squared x upon 18x squared y. There's a lots of cutting. This y goes with this y. This x squared. This y goes with this thing. Left with 1y which goes over there. This x squared cancel out. This x goes out. We're left with this 15 cancel and 12 and 18. We're left with 9. Or you're left with 6. You're left with 2 and 3. Lots of going on. We left with only 2 y's over there, which is 2y squared. Left with 1 x over there, divided by the 3x squared y. Basically, again, something is cutting in this. So y with 1 and x with 1. So you get this. This is the answer. Everything is multiplying, even is reciprocal or not. So you left with this is not equal to 0 and y is not equal to 0. I know this thing is very confusing. So again, I'm telling you that do by your own by writing this and check your answer then. And make sure you have principal values is written on your as the answer. Next, we have 6x minus 5y upon this thing and this thing. So this divided by this, you have to reciprocal this thing divided by 9 x minus 5y. This whole thing goes by this. Then we have this y goes with this goes with 3 and we get 2. Basically, when you like solving this, you get about over there you have 2 upon xy multiplying with x plus 3y upon 3. You get 2x plus 3y multiplied by 3xy. That's your answer. Firstly, at the start you have this, which is x is not equal to 0 and y is not equal to 0. You have this too, x plus 3y, which is not equal to the minus 3y. But when you reciprocal this, you also get this thing in the denominator, which is x minus 5y, which also goes as a non-placement value because when you divide in at initial, you have something else, which is this over there. But after the reciprocal, you get this too, which is again in denominator. So that's why you have to be sure in the dividing after reciprocal, the things if there is a non-placement value and after the reciprocal, you have to mention that too. Over that case, we have 5 by 1. So these 4 are the MPVs in that. And this is your answer. On to the adding and subtracting of that thing. Adding and subtracting is like somewhat is not easy, but it's very easy. In that case, you have to be in the common denominators. If you have common denominators, well and good, but they give you the not a common denominators. They will use a different denominators every time. In this, we have a different same denominators. So we get as b 2a minus a minus 1. Make sure the minus is over there. So a minus 1 goes to, when we open the bracket, goes to minus a plus 1. It changes the sign. You know this. 2a minus a, you get a plus 1 upon b. And b is not equal to 0. In this case, this whole is a one denominator, this and this. These are denominators in that. So what's the common denominator? We have x minus 1 and x plus 1. And all the things are doing the same thing with that. Done? Now you have to collect the items and do the hints into 2h square minus h minus h is equals to minus 7h, and plus 3 plus 8 goes to plus 11 divided by h minus 3 and h plus 1. And your h is not equal to minus 1 and 3. So the non-replacement values are stays the same. Now you just add in the adding and subtracting, where you have to take the common denominators. Here the common denominators are same, but if you have unlike denominators, so you have to do something in that. You have to take care of some things in that when you solving that type of thing. Start with the simple 7 divided by 10y minus 1 divided by 15y square. Over there we have y, we have 1y. Over there we have a 2y's. So we need another y in the other side, which is multiplying with the denominator. If they multiply with the denominator, make sure they multiply with the numerator too. So this goes to 7y. But you have over there is 10, here's 15. So 15 and 10, do something you have to do. So if you do multiply with the 3 thing, we get multiply with 3, and you multiply this by 2. You get 30 on both sides. And you have to multiply this is 2, this also with 2. You know this again, that if you have to make the same denominator. Over there we have 1y, over there we have a 2y's. You have to multiply with the 1y in that side, which is that and that. Again, now it's 10 and 15. Y variables are done, and we do with the 10 and 15. 10 and 15 are the way different terms. So if we divide this by 3, you get 30. And you get this by 2, you gain that 30. 15 times 2 is 30. You multiply this by denominator with 2, over there with 3. You have to multiply this by numerator 2, which is 2 and that 3. This should be 3. Now, when 3 multiplied by 7 multiplied by y, you get 21y divided by the 30y square minus 1 times 2 is 2. Again, you get 30y square. Now you get the same denominators. You can collect them all. And your non-replaceable value is y is not equal to 0 in that case. Easy thing. Done. Let's do with another one. Another one is something different. You have to do something. So h square minus 20 can't be solved. So you left with h square minus 20, but h square y square minus 4, which goes to y plus 2, y minus 2, y minus 2, y plus 2. This is multiplied with this 2. We have this thing, but this also has to be multiplied by y minus 2 and the y minus 2. So you get very long thing in that. So y plus 2, y minus 2 divided by the y square minus 20, plus you can do the distribution in that case. You get y square minus 4y plus 4. Or you can do y minus 2 whole square, which is a minus b whole square. A square minus 2ab plus b square. You can do either your way. Then collect the like terms, solve this. So 2y square minus 4y minus 16 divided by x plus 2 and x minus 2. Then 2 is common, to take 2 common, y square minus 2y minus 8 divided by the y plus 2 and y minus 2. Now you can solve this thing by factorize. So this thing is basically the x minus 4 and x plus 2. So you can cut the x plus 2 with that. You're left with only 2y minus 4 divided by the x minus 2. And that is your answer for now. What are non-principal values? Right over there. Not equal to plus minus 2. Then, because this, and we have only this one. So this is the non-principal value for this thing. So that's how you can deal with that type of questions. Sometimes it goes very long in unlike denominators. Sometimes in the this time you get the small thing like that, but you get the long thing. So this is very hard to for that difficulty in that topic. So that's all we have to discuss the rational expression. And this is very important topic because the another topic we do the equations, and equations are very related to that topic. If you know that this topic, you can do the rational expressions, rational equations very good. And we have word problems after that. So let me see if I do have learn smart not harder. Please like and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, let me in the comment section. See you in the next lesson. Till I see you with EduVibe.